Big dog Maher.
Yo.
So everyone, me and Maher are living in Cyprus together right now because we've been working together for the last 3 or 4 months. But even outside of that, we've known each other now for like a year and a bit, year and a few weeks.
Yeah, year and a few weeks.
Yeah, to give you the foundational love story, we actually met in Marbella. We lived together in Marbella for about a month and a half, and that's when we first encountered. And from there, it was really just like a trajectory of friendship. And then, at the stage that we were in, we were both very much like, well, at least he wasn't actually. I was in the very much beginning start of my business. I'd just finished closing. I just started my offer. In fact, I think I was still closing. Wasn't I? And then I was graduating from closing itself. And then we decided to just continue to be friends. So it's been a pretty crazy journey over the year. It feels like we've lived about 4 friendships in 1 year, in a good way. And now today we just decided to jump on and talk about the different levels of entrepreneurship, why we chose to be entrepreneurs, because we both come from like similar backgrounds but completely different sides of the planet. Like we both come from like non-entrepreneurial backgrounds, like a lot of limiting beliefs in the towns that we grew up in.
I used to be the person who said this was a scam.
Yeah, we used to both be fucking mouth breathing 9 to 5ers. And like I was the same. I used to tell myself that this was a scam too, but then I realised that it's not.
Yeah.
And so, I guess for you, like, do you feel like we should add any more context to it? Do you feel like?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. Like I feel like we weren't supposed to be here in some form of way. Like no rich parents, no entrepreneurial parents. If anything, it was the opposite. Like they told us to just do normal things, you know.
Yeah.
Not just the parents, but like we don't have any degrees. I don't think we have some high genius level IQ either. And like we're just normal people, and I've not like really thought about this myself, and I don't think me and you have talked about this either. But like, how the fuck did we end up here? You know what I mean? Like how?
So basically, when Maher and I met, like I was making like 10k a month as a closer, but before that I was just like a normal 9 to 5er, and now today I run a business that does just under 6 figures a month, and Maher helps me fucking scale the fuck out of that basically, and tell them about like your transformation, bro, and like where you came from.
I actually started my entrepreneurial journey like a while ago, almost 5 years ago, but I was just like fucking around for the first 2 years. But for the last 3 years, I want to say like that's when I've been like a real entrepreneur. When we first met, I was making I had already made my first 10k months like, as an agency owner, doing marketing and stuff. Like Marbella I collected over 10k and barely like the least amount of work I've ever done like at my desk. Now I work with cool entrepreneurs like Jack and help them scale to 100k plus months. I'm starting my own university teaching people how to transition into online entrepreneurship, because that's how like you can have freedom. Entrepreneurship is just a tool. So that's a bit of like my transformation.
For sure. And then to go back to the questions, like how did we actually end up here? It's like, I think with entrepreneurs you've got like 2 spaces, right? You've got like running away from pain and then running towards like a goal. And I think a lot of people start off from like this running from pain aspect where it's like they fucking hate their job, they hate their situation, or maybe hate's even a strong word, but they're just overall dissatisfied. Like they look around in their life and they're like, have a genuine level of like deep dissatisfaction. I had a fat sales manager who used to walk around and he was like proper out of shape, had his hair in a greasy little fucking top knot, and he was just like proper little dickhead, and every day I just wanted to punch his head, and I was fortunate like I can't sit here and let myself be triggered every day. And then I went through like the typical like heartbreak story.
Why do you think like you got triggered? Like why didn't you just do like everyone else at your office?
Why did I get triggered?
Like, why not just was everyone else triggered? Or?
A lot of people were, yeah, but like I think I just took it like a lot more personally. Why? I guess why is because I like being told what to do by somebody who's not in better physical condition than you, who's really not much further ahead than you psychologically, who's not really someone that I look up to and think, that's a motherfucker that I should listen to. and then him attempting to give me advice. I was thinking, bro, like, I feel like I've lived more life than you in your life.
Surely there has to be something else. There has to be another way.
I think also what a thought that just sprung to mind is like when you look at the people who are in like management positions at 9 to 5, and like let's say I was earning like 50 grand a year, he's making, let's say, I don't know, 100 grand a year, so he's making double what I'm making. But then I look and I'm like, okay, if all he's making after, like, let's say an extra 15 years at the same fucking place as I'm working is an extra 50 grand. 10 years of my life substituted for an extra 50 grand. So I kind of knew in my head that if I applied myself to something for 10 years, like 10 whole years of like showing up for 8 hours a day every fucking day, like I knew that was going to be worth way more than 50 grand. And I had this realization, right? Every human is capable of the same thing as each other. So like let's say that you and I were like training for 100 meter sprint from the day that we could walk. By the time that we got to like 12 or 13 or 14, I don't know what age you learned to walk, but I would hope before then you're going to be, the likelihood is you're going to be in the Olympics, right, or like some kind of athletic competition. When you get to however old you need to be in the Olympics, the likelihood is you're going to race. Maybe you're not going to beat Usain Bolt because, like, sure, there's a few physical differences, right, and advantages, but you're definitely going to place in like the top 3 if you train every day, you know. And then I was like, fuck, like, so if that same concept applies, that means that there's nothing that somebody else can't do that I can't. And there's nothing that somebody else can do that I can't do. If all I do, yeah, it might not be the best straight away, but like if all I do is put in those steps.
You know, I used to have the opposite mindset. I used to say shit like, no, it's because of DNA, and I used to say shit like, I don't know, some people are just born with it, like shit like that, literally. But I remember reading this book called Money of Psychology, if I remember it.
Yeah.
Like, have you read it?
Is that where it says the brain on the front cover? Yeah, the psychology of money.
Yeah, the psychology of money, maybe. And he was saying basically that people are different and have different beliefs depending on where they were born, around who, what year, what country, and like a few different factors. And then I was like, now it's starting to make sense. Maybe that makes, like, and I remember this was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting at my desk, I was reading that book, and I remember that I paused after that. And I was like, let me think about, where was I born? You know, okay, I was born in Syria, okay, how old am I? Okay, this is the people that I was born around, okay, my parents, my friends, you know, and I was like, makes sense that I'm not rich. Like, it makes sense that I am where I am, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
That's kind of when it started shifting for me, that, okay, maybe you can, okay, if I just like place myself with other people, I put myself, like I consume other stuff instead of what I used to consume. Like whether it's content or like whatever, like on Instagram, but also books. That was one of the first books I read. I was like, wow, that's if I read more of these. You know? Like instead of just playing GTA and Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever. So that's like when it started shifting for me.
And what started shifting for you?
This whole identity thing, like me becoming someone who, and I'm getting chills from just saying this, like me becoming someone that I wasn't supposed to be. Like if you look at my first 17, 18 years, you know, and you just like look at, if you just read my life timeline up until the age of 18, you could say, just like objectively, you would say, okay, this is gonna be someone, he's probably gonna become an accountant or maybe a lawyer. You know, I had good grades. I knew how to like follow an assignment, and I was raised in a family where like if you're a lawyer or an engineer, like something like that, you're something, you're someone.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone would encourage me to do so. I would literally get calls from my uncles from Syria and be like, yeah, like you should study, you know, like to this and that and whatever, you know. So if you would just like read my timeline objectively, you're like, oh yeah, he's gonna do well maybe in some corporate job, you know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of people have that though, right? Like they kind of identify themselves as a certain type of person without realising that that is a choice. They kind of think like, fuck, they're born as a certain type of person. Yeah, it's like my area makes me this, or like people from the hood, for example, like, oh, because I'm from the hood, I am this type of person. It's like, or because I'm from a rich family, then I am this type of person. Because my parents never struggled for money, then that means I'm not an ambitious person, or whatever it is, right? Like I hear bullshit all the time, but I think the biggest thing that I take away from what you said is like, who you are is a choice at the end of the day.
Like they make it sound so easy, you know, like you can make 10K a month, you know, like no experience, you can be poor, you know, no nothing. It is true, obviously, like we're both here, so it is true, like objectively it is true.
Yeah.
It's a fact, like you can, but what no one talks about is like all the fucking challenges and obstacles that are going to be in the way because you come from a non-entrepreneurial background, you don't have money, you've never seen money, you've been broke, you used to take drugs, sell drugs, or whatever, you know, like just like the complete opposite background.
Because when I hit my first 10K month, I didn't necessarily feel more successful. It wasn't like, oh, fucking get in, 5 figures. It was more like, I knew that happened. I knew that would happen because I'd already spent so long evolving as a character. Waking up every morning in the winter in the UK, I'd wake up freezing, it's still dark outside. And my brother bought me this ice bath that's probably about as big as this table, like a little circle one. And I'd get up in the morning and the ice would be this thick and I'd have to like smash through the ice and I'd get into it, fucking freezing. I'd get out and my whole skin would be like pink like a salmon. Yeah, and then I'd get in a hot shower and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I did that. And there's so many days where I almost didn't do it. I looked at it and I was like, nah, I can't. And then I just caught myself, I was like, giving myself that same objection, like I can't, that's not aligned. I felt incongruent, it felt horrible. It's like I wanted a goal, but I knew if I didn't take the action, I wasn't going to hit the goal. It's like, oh, it's like tension, like this cringe feeling. I was like, nah, I know no one's watching, but like I genuinely need to do this, otherwise I'm going to feel like a fucking loser. So I just did it. And then eventually, like when I hit the first 10K month, it wasn't like I felt more successful because of the money. I felt more successful because of all of the like times that I wanted to not do something.
I could hear my brain say no. And I was like, wait, what? Why did I just say no? I've been trying to achieve success for the last like 4 years. What do you mean no? So I paused the video and I was like, why the fuck did I just say no? I didn't say it out loud. I could hear my thoughts say it. It was super weird. It was a bit scary as well. And then I rewatched the video. I was like, well, what the fuck? Like I wanted to finish the thing. And he was basically saying, the subconscious controls you until you make it conscious. You, no matter like what background you come from, or what country or what continent or what degree you have or what degree you don't have, or what parents you have or what parents you don't have, like seriously, you can just choose your life. Whether that's becoming an entrepreneur, whether that's becoming the next Usain Bolt, you know, like landing on the moon, you can literally just like design your own life. And I would say like the first step is to change, like become the person who is able to achieve whatever the goal is that you want to achieve. When land on the moon, like who is that person who is capable of landing on the moon? Who is this person who's capable of making 10K a month? Well, he doesn't believe that making money is the root of all evil. He attracts money. Making money is easy to him. And then become that person. Prove to yourself that you are and you can become this person. Because then he will help you. That person, the second version of you, 2.0,
Yeah.
he will make the decisions for you, you know? And those decisions will lead you to your goals.